Hola. You guys ready? Luigi! Many people. Many people are in support of Luigi and empathize and feel where he comes from. These are some of the pictures. There is a large amount of people online that support him. And oh damn, you guys can see me. I thought the camera was off. And we're going to talk about it because there's been a few updates. I don't plan to be here too long, but there's been a few updates. And as I was sitting here theorizing and thinking about the other stories I've covered, it kind of hit me like, yo, I think this guy's a vegan. I had a vegan vibe to him, but I know like last time I mentioned vegan and like a killer, like people got really upset and offended. Like, the comments were like, oh my God, oh no! Get really upset. But I'm going to get to why I think he's possibly a vegan. It's very possible. Very possible. And Saint Luigi of Maryland, okay, patron saint of adjusting. It's being hailed a hero. People are in love. They're getting tattoos. They are, some people are cutting into their skin with knives to carve Luigi. They are also doing graffiti everywhere in solidarity. Let me see if I find that account. Graffiti everywhere in solidarity, standing with him. They're madly in love. He is a hero to some, a hero. That's what AOC had to say the other day.
From a diagnosis, and I think that this collective American experience, which is so twisted to have in the wealthiest nation in the world, all of that pain that people have experienced is being concentrated on this event. And it's really important that we take a step back. This is not to comment, and this is not to say that an act of violence is justified, but I think for anyone who is confused or shocked or appalled, they need to understand that people interpret and feel and experience denied claims as an act of violence against them. People go homeless over the financial devastation of a diagnosis that doesn't get addressed, or the amount
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez
that they're going to have to cover with a surprise bill and things like that. And when we kind of talk about how systems are violent in this country, in this passive way, our privatized healthcare system is like that for a huge amount of Americans. I mean, I did not have health insurance until I got elected to Congress. I was running, when I first ran for Congress, I had to sit in a free clinic while waiting.
Ocasio. And by the way, that they had a concert for this guy, Luigi. Well, the DJ put his picture up in the background. It's kind of interesting because, so it's called the Bop to Tour. Bop to Tour puts photos of Luigi in the background. Now, the Bop to Tour at the MGM Music Hall in Boston, Massachusetts, last night, the event is also known for playing Disney anthems, playing Disney songs and popular songs. And they displayed a large jumbo screen of Luigi. Many in the crowd appeared to celebrate the tragedy, with some fans even rallying to demand justice for Mangione. Bob to the Top has later said, "We've got to give the people what they want." They have yet to issue an apology and still has the content posted on their social media pages. So check this out. There was like a concert Peace and love. Peace and love. Come together. We love each other. The party of acceptance and tolerance. Except when we don't tolerate you, then we kill you, murder you, and everything else, and get you fired, and blah, blah, blah. Oh, Merry Christmas, because we have nothing else to look for in our lives. Imagine this is the most you have to look forward into your life, somebody getting murdered and killed. Yeah, woo!
You gotta give the people what they want, right?
Woo! And I don't know what the demographics is in this audience, but I mean, if they're playing Disney, it's probably for teenagers, kids, I don't know. Whoa, whoa, whoa! That's gotta be wild. So if you think like, let's say and I understand some people don't feel sympathy, but imagine like you're the family or the kids, and you're like, oh, Dad, what happened to my dad? And you go looking up and searching, and you see this. Damn, bro, people celebrating, partying. God damn.
You gotta give the people what they want, right?
Gotta give the people what they want. Now the whole vegan thing, it's a little interesting, right? I mean, I thought at least, I don't know. So I didn't realize this, but they have a picture of this guy eating a hash brown. Now the hash browns are amazing, McDonald's. But why did he only order a hash brown? What's up with that, bro? And it goes further than that. Just
Eating like Luigi Mangione for 24 hours. So for breakfast, I got some McDonald's. I got some hash browns. Luigi is vegetarian and so am I. Is this supposed to be a circle? It's giving out of shape. Lizzo vibes. This
But what are they cooking those hash browns, right? Are those hash browns? Because I know the vegan people, they're very like particular about their food and oils and what's mixed. Are they mixing your hash brown oil with beef or human meat or whatever, lab meat, whatever it is they do their meats with? And then you're still, even though you're eating a hash brown, you think you're doing the right thing. You're sipping on the oils of meat and food. I don't know. Right?
This shit was nearly $3. Wait, it tastes like potato. I think it's tofu. Why is it so oily? Is this what poor people eat? This big back crime deserves jail time. Then I had a Starbucks coffee. I got a pumpkin spice latte. What's spicier than unaliving someone? White girl coffee. Look at those CEO tears. Then I went
CEO tears.
shopping. Oh my god, the fans are fanning. Crocs are ugly, no offense. Then I checked out some fun toys. Needed something 3D printed. After a day of fun activities, I had pizza beans in prison.
And that's what we're going to get to next, pizza beans. Because when I heard pizza beans, I'm like, who eats pizza beans? So what's up with like pizza beans? Why pizza beans? And then things started to click in my head. Pizza beans. Who eats that kind of shit? I've never even heard of that. Pizza beans.
Prison. They were so gross. It was the best day ever. Eating.
And so like there's like a whole origin story. I'm not going to get into the whole thing about pizza beans. Is Luigi how pizza beans finally became mainstream? And so they talk about CNN's Gene Carroll seems sort of confused while reporting that Luigi, accused of killing the United CEO Brian Thompson, I don't want to kill animals, but murdering people, She noted that his confinement in the State Correctional Institution of Huntingdon, Pennsylvania, he had the choice of chicken parmesan or something called pizza beans. And he chose pizza beans. Pizza beans. Okay. All right. So I before the stream started, I'm like, damn, that's kind of weird. I'm a little like, I don't know. But he gave me like these kind of vegan vibes because some of them, not all of them, some of them are crazy. I think they're like deficient in some of their vitamins and they're in denial and they're like angry at society. Like to get their point across, they was like yelling and angry and like all agitated, all this stuff. And so I found another piece on the internet posted 2 days ago. Oh, where's everybody at? We have 800 people. That's it. What's going on? Where's everybody at today? 800 people. Okay. So there's this restaurant, and this restaurant posted, look what this says. It was amazing having Luigi at our Sunday Express Gourmet fast food on 12/4/2024, before he got caught. I think, right? Between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. He gave us a shot and mentioned we're the best vegan restaurant in Compton. What? But wait, what would he be doing? I don't know. Where's Compton at? Which Compton is this? Thank you for stopping by. We can confirm he couldn't have been anywhere else because he was busy eating our lomo saltado. The lomo saltado, maybe they're trolling, but lomo saltado is generally, it's like a beef plate or something like that, or like a meat or steak. But I don't know if they make this. Maybe it's possible. Oh, it's California. They're trolling. Maybe it's possible. Yeah, I guess they do make a vegan saltado. I don't even know how you do that. How do you make fake meat? I guess plants and, I don't know, vegetables and soil and vegan. So I don't know. My theory is he's possibly vegan, possibly. And it reminded me of Brian Koberger. Let's take it back for a second.
Says that he eats alone in his cell every single meal, while the other inmates all eat together and then sleep together in their pods. Food apparently is quite good at this jail. The portions are small. Many of the inmates say they're left hungry, and so they have to turn to the unhealthy stuff in the commissary. Would Brian Koberger do that with all his fitness goals?
No, he can't.
Don't know.
And another fitness person, another fitness guru.
That. They say the company makes the food fresh for the jail, and that the vegan meals, which is what Koberger has asked for, are mostly vegetables. Sometimes they're beans and rice. As for BK's cell, Koberger's cell has his own TV. We've told you about that. We also told you that he had to call out to have the channel changed, but we're getting a lot more clarification about that. He does not have to do that. No, he's got his own remote. The other guys who all share a pod and share a TV, they have to agree on it, and the channel has to get changed. But he gets his own remote in one of those isolated 4 cells for the max lockup people. He's one in those 4 cells, and the other 3 are empty so far. Could change it any day. And his cell actually has bars on it. A lot of max jails now have like heavy doors, but his are like old school. He's got bars, so he looks out every day at his reality. Bars. Behind bars. He has a little bit more privacy than the other guys, because again, they're all in one place and he's in his own. But he does get headphones. And that's so that when he makes calls, he can have privacy. And the other inmates also get headphones so that when they have their calls, they can have privacy too. As for his demeanor, the source says he says very little. He's cooperative. He can be heard saying yes, no, full search when he comes. Brian Koberger made his choice. He decided to go outside today. But he also got a shot at the library. And I'm going to explain that because our senior national correspondent, Brian Enton, has been figuring out all the protocols with how you can make your choices and get that 1 hour of exercise outside, but still maybe get a little bit of time on the inside in the library. So, Brian, how is his day organized and how does he make the choices?
Yeah, so it's our understanding that early in the morning, they have a choice whether to go outside or into the library. And it's interesting, we've been calling it a library the last couple of days, but we keep learning more and more from sources about exactly what goes on in this jail. It's actually more of a multi-purpose room, Ashley. So there's also a washer and dryer in that multi-purpose room. And then the library is actually a full wall of books within the multi-purpose room. Many of those books donated by people on the outside, we're told. But in this library / multi-purpose room, that's where they will have church services, that mass that we've reported that Koberger sometimes goes to on Sundays. They also have recovery meetings in that room.
Okay, so at 7 a.m., he has to sign up and make his choices for the early morning quick visit, whether it's outside or to the library, and then he gets the 1 hour outside of the library. But talk to me a little bit about that outside rec area. I have this vision of what the movies have, this giant, rec yard where all the prisoners are on benches and working out and everything, and that is not this place.
No, and anytime you have a vision from a movie about a jail or prison, just erase it out of your mind when it comes to this Kohberger situation. Because again, having been there, very small town, very small courthouse, and then this very, very small jail right underneath the courthouse. And that extends out to this little, very small outdoor area. It's basically just a concrete slab, Ashley. It's about 12 by 34 feet. We're told that when Kohberger chooses to go outside, that he is alone by himself outside. If you're just a regular inmate, you may go out in groups of 3 or so. And then remember, this is Idaho, so the weather can change, drastically by the week. It can.
All right, move on from that. Well, this was a small mention to a Brian Kohberger.
4/21/2011, he explodes back onto the scene with his fateful post, "I know the cause/cure of visual snow." About this VS toxin/diet theory, over time he develops 2 main theories about VS that he repeatedly posts about. VS, this is number 1, VS is an inflammatory vascular disease because he gets head throbbing sensations. 2, VS is caused and exacerbated by ingested toxins. He became obsessive about diets as a treatment/cure. He latched onto the idea that toxins from any external ingestion, but fungus and candida especially, caused these symptoms. His advocating diets would cause much community drama for him over time, with some forum users lambasting him as a salesman or a shill. There's a deleted post he made threatening to leave the community, and I think this played into it. This post continued for years after his departure from the forum. The dietary obsession probably evolved into veganism.
So I don't know. I got the vibe. See, I wish I could have still looked at this guy's Instagram, because it seems like they scrubbed the internet, his social media, except Twitter, X. Luigi.
He remains quite.
And again with Kohberger, kind of separate incident.
People were talking about, it doesn't. Some people were saying it's a vegan restaurant. It's a Greek restaurant, also a pizza joint, and so, but they have fetish options, but they do serve like meat eaters as well at this place. It says here that in the weeks before the slings, Kohberger allegedly ate at the restaurant where the 2 victims worked. According to a former employee, Kohberger came in at least twice to grab vegan pizza. 2 of the victims, Madison and Xana, were servers at the restaurant. It is unclear if either woman ever.
There was this song by this person. Rose posted this and said, "Why nobody cares about the Ryan Thompson CEO."
There's an office and a building and a person and a chair, and you paid for it all.
Don't jump this up.
Unaware. You paid for the paper, you paid for the phone, you paid for everything they need to deny you what you're owed. There ain't no you in United Health, there ain't no me in the company, there ain't no us in the private trust. There's hardly humans in humanity. Now the procedure that you're needing ain't the cost-effective route, and only 2% of people end up winning a dispute. So if you get sick, pray to God for help, cause your doctor's gotta pray to United Health. Way back in 77, Mr. Richard T. Burke started buying HMOs, putting federal grants to work, made 50 billion buckaroos. Last year the Warren Buffett of health, the Jeff Bezos of fear. Now CEOs come and go, and one just went. The ingredient you got, bake the cake you get. But if you get sick, cross your fingers for luck, cause old Richard T. Burke ain't giving a fuck. Commoditized health, monopolized fraud. Here's the doctors we own and the research we bought. They own the pharmacies and a lot of the meds. They should start buying graves to sell us when we're all dead. There ain't no you in United Health, there ain't no me in the company, there ain't no us in the private trust. There's hardly humans in humanity. There's hardly humans in humanity.
Hardly humans in humanity. So now the new thing too is they're saying that Mama apparently had spoken with the FBI the night before of the murder. The night before he was arrested. Sorry, the night before he was arrested for the murder. And the mother, the night before her son's high-profile arrest, told the feds he bore a resemblance to the suspect and wanted for the killing of the CEO. Interesting. Mama snitched. And his mom reported him missing to the San Francisco Police Department November 18th. Mama. Anyone on this reportedly vanished for several months after fleeing the U.S. to zen out on a solo Asia trip, abruptly returning to allegedly kill Thompson. Wow. Family in the dark amid murder case. I don't believe that, but family appears to be distancing themselves from Brian Thompson's murder investigation, and attorney David Irwin, who has been advising the family following the arrest, the suspected shooter's loved ones are in the dark about the case, saying they don't know all the facts. Saying that the family only reads what's in the papers. And that's the family right there. Ah, so nice and sweet. Mangione, a beach bum. What? Inside Luigi's time as a beach bum. The hell? Hawaiian paradise. Living the life. Tickling girls. Oh my God, he was into tickling girls. Kind of like Koberger. Tickling girls, Tinder matching as a yoga guru. Them yoga people, man, they get it in. Oh, bend over. Let me touch you, rub you. Oh, no. It's just to stretch and connect with the earth and spirituality. And no, let me help you stretch just in that way. I'm a yoga spiritual instructor. Life in Hawaii was a beach for Luigi before the privileged 26-year-old computer engineer flipped the switch and went off the grid. Exclusive photos obtained by the Post show the murder suspect having fun in the sun, dining with tan pals, and even frolicking with a pair of beauties during his time at the Penthouse Surf Break, a co-living space in Honolulu. Wow. He stayed there from January to June 2022, paying $2,000 a month. In one photo, the murder suspect cuddled up to a grinning woman, Tracy Lee, with his arm draped behind her on a couch. Another snap shows Mangione tickling the gal, and another in a woman in a hallway. Get you, get you. Okay. It's a tickler. The tickler. Okay, I see he was living the life. All right. There was no simmering anger that was visible, Josiah Ryan, a Surfbreaker spokesperson, said. Lee, a data engineer in the New York City, posted the pictures on her Instagram account April 2022 with the caption, "So many people I love in one picture." Mangione was the only name whose FaceTime calls I would pick up. He was one of my absolute best, closest, most trusted friends, she wrote in a caption of a TikTok video, which showed Mangione, who now stands accused of killing the CEO, on the streets of Midtown, holding a mokai, what's that called? Mokai ice cream at a grocery store and giggling alongside Lee. The Post reached out to a number of individuals depicted in the pictures, including Lee, none of whom responded to a request for comment in the interview. There he is smiling. Seems like a normal guy. What happened? She got a bottle, smiling. He has his arm around her. Okay, Luigi, I see you, Luigi. And they're exploring whether the back injury led to his hatred towards the medical field. Okay, got more pictures here. Oh, look like a happy guy, a lot of friends on the beach, in shape, fit, but was suffering from a back injury. Chad Kramer. And apparently he couldn't get up either. That's the other problem. He couldn't, after the back injury, they said he couldn't be intimate. Which is froze a little bit sus. Yesterday, like, I can't tell you why he wasn't intimate. I can't tell you about his partner. That was a little weird. Because he's the one. Nobody would have known that if it wasn't for him stating that in the first place. And so now when they push him on it, he's, oh, sorry, excuse me, honey. I can't tell you why. I can't tell you why he wasn't intimate. And I can't tell you who he was intimate with, his partners. You know, that terminology, partners. I don't know. I was like, okay, all right. All right, cool. All right. So, damn, what's this? The yoga teacher Mangione allegedly matched with on Tinder while he was doing yoga in Honolulu. Okay, so he matched with somebody. He was on Tinder looking for women. He matched with somebody. Okay, all right. Brian Koberger. Tinder.
Not. And
Weird.
moving on with it.
Hell nah.
Off, but that was not the case. He
I'll come inside. Thank you.
kind of invited himself inside, and I was just like, okay, I went along with it.
Hell nah.
So he wanted to watch another movie on Netflix, and I said, sure. He kept trying to touch me, not like inappropriately, just like trying to tickle me and like rub my shoulders and stuff. And I was like,
the tickle thing is kind of weird. I couldn't imagine trying to pull it off like on a Tinder date. Chico, like, That's what I was talking about, like the lack of self-awareness and stuff. Chico.
But he could have just been playing with his friend. It might not have been creepy like that, but it reminded me of Koberger. Okay, so he was on the Tinder apps. I don't remember him ever having a serious girlfriend. There you go. Okay. I mean, that's possible too. Young guy. It's not working. Soundboard doesn't work. Oh man. Okay. I don't remember him ever having a serious girlfriend. He was very shy with girls. A classmate who asked to be anonymous told the Post. Why you gotta be anonymous for that? Well, let me see what else we got. Got more pictures. All right. I see you. Luigi, age 26, seeking. Dorian Wright, a yoga instructor based in Honolulu, taught Mangione when he lived on the island, told the Post one of our teachers matched with him on Tinder. Which teacher? She was taking my class at the same time as he was. Okay. His Tinder profile. He was well liked by people. He wasn't a big partier or anything like that. He loved hiking and doing things with people. He helped start a book club. Okay. His spine was misaligned. The lower vertebrae was messed up by 1/2 inch. Pinched nerve. Okay. One of our teachers matched with him on Tinder. She was taking a class at the same time, and he was, and she was like, I wanted to go up and ask him on a date, but I was too nervous. Damn. He appeared on his dating profile where he appeared to be smiling and a navy hoodie crouched down in the active volcano in the background. A lot of pictures on here. It's right there. He's a tall, good-looking guy. That's the only thing I know. Who he, Mangione, was going to potentially go on a date with. Wait, what? That's the only person I know who he, Luigi, was going to go on a potential date with. Okay. All right. Martin told the Times the seemingly sidelined Mangione's sex life because he knew that dating and being physically intimate with his back condition was impossible. That's got to be tough, especially it's like so young. Okay. Mangione. What happened? Oh, by the way, this is something I wanted to talk about real quick. So we had a caller the other day that came and told the story. I feel like these people are sometimes listening to our live streams. Brian Thompson's death recalls 2015 murders of reporter, cameraman by UnitedHealthcare worker. What the? Somebody called in the other day. The cold-blooded killing of Brian Thompson was not the first time UnitedHealthcare has been at the center of a high-profile murder. A company employee infamously filmed himself executing a Virginia reporter and her cameraman live on air as they conducted an interview in August 2015. And then homeboy killed himself after gunning down the reporter, Allison Parker, and photojournalist Adam Ward. Wow. Here he is right there. Mamma mia. I saw that. Sierra. They said he's a Swiftie. Taylor Swift. I forgot the other girls that he listens to. Wow. Video of the terrifying incident ran on the station's morning news program, capturing the sound of at least 8 gunshots, then screams. That's pretty crazy. And both of them were dead at the scene. Ward, 27, and Parker, 24, were declared dead at the scene. The woman they were interviewing, Vicky Gardner, survived with a bullet wound to her back. So he went on the set and tried to kill everybody. Flanagan had been fired from the news outlet in 2013 for poor performance and disruptive behavior. He later took a position at UnitedHealthcare. What a better place. Oh, he's an outstanding employee. We love him. And he went back and took his vengeance. Wow. Crazy. Flanagan was accused of grabbing a female employee's shoulder and aggressively telling her to never talk to him again. It's unclear why he eventually quit the gig. Wow. Flanagan, who posted a video of the murders on his Twitter account, offed himself during a car chase with police. Okay. Wow. So yeah, I wanted to bring that up because that lady, she was right about what she was talking about. Now, okay, here's the other thing too. Here's the other situation too, which is kind of like, I don't know. I wish this thing would work. What's going on with this? This is Mark and Karen Agnifilo. They're both married. Both are defense attorneys. Mark is currently representing Sean Diddy Combs. And Karen is representing Luigi. Yeah, that's an evil. Oh, that's a smile. It's a smile. Looks a little. She look kind of diabolical with that smile right there. I don't know. Something about that smile. But apparently, what are the chances, right? What are the chances? Mangione is being represented by an attorney that's married to Diddy's attorney. What? Wow. Best that money can buy you. Retains former Manhattan prosecutor to defend him in the CEO slaying. Longtime prosecutor who used to lead the sex crimes unit in Manhattan before turning to the private sector. She's got as much as experience as any human being, especially in the state. Wow.
To head here to New York, perhaps sooner than some expected, as I have exclusive new reporting about who will be representing him when he gets here. Tonight, I can report that Luigi Mangione has retained a high-powered New York defense attorney, Karen Friedman Agnifilo, to represent him as he's facing a second-degree murder charge in the death of the UnitedHealthcare CEO, Brian Thompson. Viewers of the source will be very familiar with Friedman Agnifilo, who was recently a CNN legal analyst, but she's also a veteran of the New York criminal justice system. She served as the chief assistant district attorney in the Manhattan DA's office for 7 years before going into private practice. As one longtime New York prosecutor told me tonight, she knows, quote, every corridor, every judge, every clerk in the courthouse here. And she will be taking this case on at a time when investigators have amassed new evidence in recent days, with police telling CNN this week that the 3D printed gun he had on him when he was arrested matches the 3 shell casings that were found at the crime scene in Midtown Manhattan. His fingerprints also match those that investigators found on items near the scene.
There might be a not guilty by reason of insanity defense that they're going to be thinking about, because the evidence is going to be so overwhelming that he did what he did.
At this hour, Luigi Mangione remains behind bars in Pennsylvania. But just today, we heard from the Manhattan District Attorney, who said that he could waive extradition, meaning he could be headed here to New York as early as Tuesday. My sources tonight on the breaking news are CNN's chief law enforcement and intelligence analyst, and also the former NYPD Deputy Commissioner, John Miller, retired NYPD captain and author of The Guns of Antwerp, John Monahan, as well as had Thomas Dickey, and presenting him and taking this case on in New York, essentially waiving extradition.
Yeah, well, the extradition piece in Pennsylvania is really a non-event. Most defendants waive it because all it is proving that the guy that New York wants is the guy that Pennsylvania has. It's just an identity thing. There's really no question here when you see all the things that he was arrested with that tie him to the scene of the crime, et cetera. They have the right guy. So really what you want is a lawyer who can take you through the real case, right? The pretrial and, of course, the trial. And Karen is the sort of person with all of her many years of experience as a trial lawyer and in this actual courthouse and in this actual office. That's the sort of person you want.
Yeah, and she does have a wealth of experience in it, as we were talking about what that looks like. I mean, she was about to be intimately familiar with this again, John, because we've been talking, based on your reporting, of just the evidence that they are amassing and what.
Yeah, they got a lot coming down the pipe. Ooh. This other thing, real quick. The therapists, the experts have a theory and diagnosis. Maybe not a diagnosis, more of a theory. They say he has a grandiose behavior, signs of narcissism, sociopathy. They say everybody got narcissism, though. Displayed of grandiose behavior associated with personality disorders like narcissism and sociopathy. There's levels of grandiosity in his decision that his own opinions would merit his complete disregard for some of the most basic laws of our society, and that this sense of permission to take a man's life into his own hands. For him to imagine himself as this hero, it raises questions for me about his personality disorder that's along the lines of narcissism. Dr. Allison Cohen says he's likened the Mangione to serial killers like Ted Bundy and Charles Manson, who exhibited symptoms of antisocial personality disorder. Antisocial personality disorder is when people lack the ability to have empathy and compassion for other humans. With a cold-blooded killer, the cold-bloodedness is literally a lack of emotional consideration. I don't think that someone who feels deeply on an emotional level would be okay with someone shooting someone in the head. Apparently, a lot of people feel okay with it. They're cheering. They're having concerts, the parades. Ah! Ah! They're cheering. Forensic psychiatrist Dr. Carol Lieberman, on the other hand, believes Mangione was simply depressed by chronic back pain. Clearly, this is someone who was planning on going out and conquering the world. So does he have some grandiosity? Yes. But I do not think he's a sociopath. Lieberman opined. Instead, he felt like time was running out for him to accomplish his dreams, which is why he chose to murder Brian Thompson. Okay. All 3 mental health experts ruled out schizophrenia, which can subtly afflict young men, citing a lack of evidence that Mangione suffered from delusions or hallucinations, telltale signs of the disorder. Additionally, it's unlikely that a schizophrenic person would have been able to pull off such a meticulous planning. Okay. He could have done it. Now, there is a lot of this going on. Graffiti. Deny, delay, depose, kill more CEOs. That's in California. Stay effing angry. denied delay to pose. Las Vegas, California, denied defend the pose. Luigi, working class hero. Bathroom graffiti in NYC. It's everywhere. Eat the CEOs. Murder Musk. Damn. Portland, USA. Free Luigi.
It's so.
I'm gonna play that song. We saw that, I think, earlier. In Italy. I don't know what that. Who's that? Oh. Antifa. Y tú me lo preguntas. Capucha eres tú. Whatever that means. Free Luigi. Defend deny the pose. So that's graffiti everywhere. Massive support for the guy. People are in love and infatuated.
Oh, wow.
Take it to the top, baby.
Interesting.
There's a little, apparently he had this back injury. I don't know if that's real.
Yeah.
But this like lingering back injury.
You had to get surgery.
Again, this is kind of one of the stories people are saying. I don't know if it's the case, but it's like he was in Hawaii, he was surfing, injured his back, gets back surgery. Apparently there's like a whole back surgery racket that happens. I was looking at this also where like they're overdiagnosed, and oftentimes like the saying that people go with is like the first surgery is optional, the second surgery isn't.
Yeah.
It's like the doctors will just like do back surgeries, and then they have chronic back pain forever because the doctor's getting kickbacks for the back surgery.
And I could see that. I could see that. Because some of the things that I see approved and some of the things that I see denied, like, because I've seen a lot of stories. Let me show you a story real quick, because I think Jennifer Coffindaffer posted this. It's a fucked up story, though, about this little girl that they denied her a prosthetic arm. How fucked up you gotta be, right? Hold on, let me see. I saw this earlier. Here it is. So this teased me off. Let me get it the full screen. Remy Bateman denied a prosthetic arm because it was deemed not medically necessary. So these people are going to let her suffer. You're paying for insurance, your kid, I don't know what her situation was. We're not going to pay for her arm. We're going to keep the millions to ourselves because we're selfish, greedy, gluttonous bastards. And I don't know the whole story again, but that's how they left her. And then I have to you have to think about it too. I know some people might not like this, but so that's not approved. Where's the comment at? It's easier to get gender affirming surgery from the government. You get less kickback for that. You want to get some surgery, you want to cut your thing off, you want to take some fat from one part and put it in another part and replicate it or whatever. You have an easier time to getting that approved than for a little girl that it would be probably life-changing for her to get a prosthetic arm. It's true. I agree with that. This person is a nut job. I've seen this chick. This chick has been obsessed with me. But this chick said no, they denied a robotic arm. She's still growing, and 25K is absolutely a waste at this age. You were duped too. Many were. This chick, bro, there's been video. This chick is a nut, complete fucking nut job. Made a bunch of videos about me, obsessed. In my opinion, seems like she comes off as mentally ill. So I'm not surprised that that's her response. No sympathy, no empathy for this child that, could use a prosthetic arm.
And yada yada yada.
Fuck.
I'm watching you, Icked Mail. That's the other thing too. They're always watching me and stuff and recording everything I do. This is the weirdest thing ever.
What people are saying, and so it's possible that he was wrapped up in that.
He feels manipulated, taken advantage of, and now for the rest of his life he's in pain.
So they're looking at his like book recommendations, like the books he read, and there's a ton of like back pain books.
Yeah,
and so he's like reading about this shit. He's feeling angry. He maybe did like some people say he did like ayahuasca
to get through it,
and like was partially part of it. So like he was angry, traumatized, hyper intelligent. And then goes potentially crazy, doesn't talk to his family for 3-6 months, and then forms his plan.
Yikes. He comes back a fucking superhero.
Unbelievable. Comes back a superhero, yeah, I guess.
Yikes. Comes back a fucking superhero.
Unbelievable. Does it feel?
Yeah. Basically. Danielle says, I've had 30 back surgery and still have pain and take meds. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, but it doesn't make me want to go after the surgeon. And it really wouldn't be the surgeon. Well, I don't know if they're not doing the right thing, maybe. But this is okay. So we're gonna cover some other little stories on the side. This TikTok exec randomly slashed by a maniacal stranger on the subway sues MTA for systemic negligence. Now, New York, when you think about Penny, right? You can't defend yourself. You can't defend people on the train. You just have to take it. So according to these New Yorkers, well, actually the verdict was just, but the guy that got attacked, maybe he should be charged, and the person that stabbed him should be let go into society to stab other people on the subway. I thought this was kind of an interesting, almost ironic story. I wouldn't want anybody to get attacked or stabbed, but they make it seem like it's so crazy that this guy, Daniel, defended himself. And so you're not allowed to defend yourself. People can attack you, can rape you, can murder you, can do all kinds of stuff on the subway. And you can't say anything about it. You can't defend yourself, because if you do, then you're going to go to court. They treat you as a racist. They do all kinds of shit. And here we go again. You know, somebody getting attacked and assaulted. Gideon Moncrieff struggles with nightmares, depressions, and flashbacks from May 10, 2023, which occurred just weeks after Daniel Penny's subway chokehold death of an out-of-control Straffinger, Jordan Neely. He was engaged to the love of his life at the time and was working as a head of global event production for social media giant when he saw Sean Lewis on a southbound C train in Brooklyn squabbling with an older, drunken rider and tried to squash the beef. He said a new lawsuit. And, good for you. Go sue them. You know, I'm not saying anything. That's good that you do that. You should sue that guy, but you probably wouldn't get anything from that guy anyway, the guy on the train that stabbed you. I said, look at somebody who was on the train 2 weeks ago. They were choked out because someone proceeded to be aggressive. Referring to the Penny case. Lewis, who has a history of violence, including an arrest a month before their encounter, in which he allegedly choked his girlfriend and threatened her with a knife, chillingly responded, "Thank you," and sliced him with a sharp object in his forehead to his chin. The horrific assault, with an 8-inch gash on his face, required 100 stitches. It wasn't immediately clear when and why Lewis was banned from the transit system, but his extensive rap sheet includes 9 arrests between 2016 and 2021, including assault and strangulation charges in 2023. In January 2023, he was accused of shoving his girlfriend in a window. He tossed her out of the window. I'm kidding on that, but he didn't toss her. But in August 2022, attacked an employee at a homeless shelter, later agreeing to a plea deal, which saw him convicted of disorderly conduct. This is the guy that got slashed. Look at this stuff. Look at this shit. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And they don't want you to defend yourself. And I think with Penny, I don't know if there was kids on the train. All people are going fucking insane. And regular people that have families, that go to work, that want to live and survive, are tired of it. And they don't want to take it. And I do think they need to bring some mental asylums back. They can open up jobs, have a place for some of these people to go to try to get some help. But that doesn't mean you should take it either. You just got to take it. Take it in the chin. Let somebody stab you. Let somebody shoot you. You're just supposed to roll over and take it because they have some type of issue. Anyway, so that was that one situation. The subways in New York is getting crazy. I wouldn't want to be on there. If I still lived in New York, I'd be concerned about my mother getting on there and riding the trains. It's crazy. Now, another thing. So I came across this, I think last night. And you remember, if you were here yesterday, I mentioned the Duke lacrosse players that were falsely accused of rape. Check out, I love Nancy, but this is a bad thing. Check out Nancy and this person, Stephen Miller, columnist for Duke student newspaper.
Why aren't they think I speak for many students when I say that we're very, very concerned that 2 innocent people may have possibly just had their lives ruined.
Lord, your first concern is that somebody's falsely accused?
Don't tell me what my first concern is.
I was disturbed to see how people were saying, why aren't they coming forward? Why aren't they saying what happened? Why haven't they spoken out against other players? But no one said, wait, hold on a moment. What if they're innocent? What if they didn't do anything wrong?
We are out of time, but I will say that these things don't happen in a vacuum. I understand your point, but it's also freedom of speech. People have a right, just like you're expressing your opinion.
They do, but it was prosecuted as a witch hunt from the beginning. People presumed their guilt, and in America, we don't do that.
Well, let's put it this way. The only person in this whole case that has any real significant evidence of wrongdoing against them is one district attorney by the name of Mike Nifong.
Well, that's the truly depressing thing about this, is you could have had a situation where they might have said, all right, look, we rushed to judgment, we thought something happened, it looks like absolutely nothing happened now, we made a mistake, we shouldn't have done it. But instead, they're standing by their original statement, which speaks to the fact that for them, this was never about what happened to this particular woman according to her testimony, nor was it ever about these players. It was always for them about their political agenda. And also,
that's just so messed up. Somebody could destroy, your life like that. And the thing is, in the moment, everybody jumps on it, and then after the fact, when it's not true, or like this chick, I don't know if it was like 18 years later. Oh yeah, I admit, I lied. A lot of people don't catch that part of the story. They had their life destroyed. They couldn't get jobs, like all this horrible stuff. Well, I'm sure it's great that at least she admitted it, but like 18 years later. And Nancy, oh my God. I was sad to see it. I can't lie. I was a little sad to see it.
The one person, again, who without question has behaved in an unethical, immoral, and sinister fashion is District Attorney Mike Nifong. He's pursued a case not because of the evidence, but in spite of the evidence. And the idea that in America you would pursue a case against 3 people when the evidence suggests not that they did it, but that they didn't do it.
And they got acquitted, yeah.
To me is beyond unconscionable.
What follows is more footage pulled up from the December 6th Nancy Grace Show interview when the rape charges were dropped, but other charges such as kidnapping and assault remained. Let's see. I haven't gone this far into the video.
You're not willing to say she's lying just yet, but I want to go to a man that I think might disagree with that.
Yo, doesn't she look familiar? Isn't that the lady?
Stephen Miller, executive director of the Duke Conservative Union. You have been outspoken on this case from the start. Do you still give her the benefit of the doubt? I don't think you ever did you?
Well, wow. I never gave her the benefit of the doubt. If you looked at the evidence in its totality, it was clear from very early on in this case that this was indeed a bogus case. And Jane, I think both you and I can agree that all the charges should be dropped. This is absolutely unbelievable. On the night in question, just that night alone, she had several different versions of events. In one version of events that night, she claimed she was only groped and not even raped. She changed the number of attackers. In the photo lineup, she identified different people. She identified one of the people as having a mustache who didn't even have a mustache.
Wow.
This whole case has been wrought with irregularities and nonsense and deceptions. Mike Nifong keeping exculpatory
Gloria, thank you. Yeah, Gloria.
Evidence away from the defense. You're talking about a guy that did 70 press interviews, used it to get reelected. There was never any real evidence against these players. The DNA didn't match on any count in any way, in any capacity this entire time. You have absolutely no reason to believe these players committed this crime. One of the players has a solid alibi during the time the crime was supposed to have occurred. You've got all of this stuff. I cannot think of one case of equivalent or near profile in the United States of America where there's been so little reason for 3 people or one person or anybody to be brought to trial. This is insanity.
I know you think they should never have been filed, but given that report, should they have been dropped back in May?
They should have been dropped. And let me add this thought. If this had not been a situation where you had 3 apparently well-to-do
white, there you go, that's what it is. It's
cosplayers accused of raping a poor black stripper single mother in Durham. If you hadn't had that rape,
I don't know what she was doing stripping at that. I mean, I don't know what age you have to be to strip. It was a teenage party, wasn't it? I mean, I guess 18. I thought you had to be 21 plus. Or was that just because of the alcohol? A stripper and the boys'
racial element, there's no way this case could have continued for that long. But because of the incredibly toxic racial environment you have in America, and specifically in Durham, where 96% is estimated of the black population voted for Nifong's re-election, you have a situation where people are afraid to intervene because they'll be perceived as doing it for the wrong motivations. And the only thing that matters here is justice.
And I want to go to Stephen Miller of the Conservative Union for the big picture here, because you could argue that if she's making this up, people have a tendency to want to get even when racial slurs are uttered at them, and that the ugliness began with those slurs. Your thoughts on that? Because I know you're saying that does not fairly represent Duke, and I certainly agree, but this ugliness came from somewhere. It did happen. Those slurs were uttered.
Well, it doesn't fairly represent Duke. It also doesn't fairly represent the lacrosse team because, first of all, we're talking about a few individuals that are alleged to have said these things. But the 3 players that are on, that have been indicted, that are about to face trial, are not the ones that are supposed to have said these things. The majority of the players on the team, no one's accused them of saying anything racist. So you can't take a brush and paint the whole team because of what a few people said, which is heinous, but doesn't reflect on the team as a whole. That would be absolutely absurd.
And I'm not doing that, but what I'm saying is that we talk about this horrible situation and this racially polarizing situation, and it stemmed from those words. And people say, oh, words are meaningless, but words count. Words count a lot, and they can create a lot of tragedy.
Words do count a lot, and there's no question. Let me tell you something. If somebody said to a black person or an Asian person or a Jewish person or any person, something like that, and I was around, I would put them in their place because there's no place for that in America. But that cannot be the justice.
I mean, so I don't know. This looks like an old clip. Salute to this guy for standing up. It's a shame. It really is a shame that, I feel like this day and age, you have to have conversations with your kids. I mean, I guess there's separate conversations for if you have a daughter versus a boy, because I could only imagine the conversations I would have. Because you don't know what kind of shit anybody's going to make up on you, especially if you start getting any kind of attention or notoriety. The kind of shit people make up on and lie about, and you want to believe people and you want to give them the benefit of the doubt and you want to hear their stories and they should litigate it and stuff like that. But like there is situations where people just lie, straight out lie. This chick fucking just admitted it like the other day, and it's been 18 years. Like, who can hold, if you really feel guilty, the statute of limitations, I thought they said was like 2 years. You're well beyond this. Not like 18 years later, this woman, stripper, woman that stabbed her boyfriend, she's on a murder charge or whatever, locked up. 18 years, she had the consciousness to be like, you know what? I lied. Wow. This is crazy. Crazy. It's just insane. Well, this is some other chick. So we were Justice Smollett. We were talking about the other day about I don't remember the chick's name, the OnlyFans lady. Oh, Lily Phillips. There was some lady that had sex with 101 men in one day. There's like a documentary online, and it's interesting that like people are talking about that like YouTube did not age restrict that video. YouTube sometimes age restricts my videos, and I disagree with it, but there's nothing you can really do. But a woman talking about effing 100-something guys in one day and talks about all this sexual stuff, not age restricted. Your kids can watch it, and there's no problem with that. That's crazy. Let me see if they slept. Maybe they did it since the backlash. I slept with 100 men. Here's a document. It's like 47 minutes. I haven't even watched this bullshit, but I slept with 100 men documentary. Let me see if it's age restricted. No. All right. So now there's somebody else. I guess now there's like new goals. the woman they're now maybe they're feeling like, oh man, I want the clout. I want to, So some other model, I guess, Bonnie Blue brags about sleeping with barely legal 18-year-olds. Bonnie Blue, before bragging about her plans to sleep with 300 men in one day to break the world record, which I thought the world record was higher than that. I thought Hoax said that the other day. Like, wasn't it like 500 or something? So this lady's saying she wants to do 300. This other lady, Lily Phillips, is saying she wants to do, the next goal is 1,000 men in 24 hours. And like, I forgot the way they calculated it. I don't know if they said like every 2 minutes or 3 minutes or something, you know, to sleep with one person. This is kind of funny. The cameraman watching Lily cry before telling she's got 72 men left. The only thing I could think of is, I don't know. Is this really exploring your sexuality? Is this some type of void you're trying to fill? Some of the common things they say, oh, there's not a father in the home. I don't know what makes somebody want to, even if you're doing your OnlyFans hustle, do your OnlyFans hustle. But like to do this whole 100 men in one day or 1,000 men in one day, 300 men in one day. I don't know anybody that would find that attractive besides the guys maybe just going in to get it off and leave. It's crazy.
And the girl that slept with barely legal 18-year-olds. Treated
barely legal 18-year-olds.
With barely legal 18-year-olds.
Why is that a flex? Who flexes that? But I guess if it's a woman, that's acceptable. Because if it was a guy that was saying, oh, I slept with barely 18-year-olds or maybe under, they would be canceled. But because it's a woman, well, okay. Oh, wow. Ooh.
And the girl that slept with barely legal 18-year-olds. Treated their dads to a night off.
Treated their dads to a night off? I don't know. Maybe she's just trying to, like, get attention.
And treated the husbands who hadn't had it in a while. And
treated the husband?
I'm going to be breaking a world record and taking 300. It's going to be a mixture of all of them.
I don't know, man. I don't know if this chick is trolling. I'm going to treat the dads on a night off. You couldn't pay me. You couldn't offer me anything. I don't know. So maybe this is the new trend. These women are jumping on this and it's like getting them clout and stuff. Okay, one of the last things. This was kind of crazy, and I gotta send this to my mother because I know my mother's gonna trip out. But apparently, this is in Mexico, so I'm a little relieved. It's Mexico. Okay, it's Mexico. Two shoppers at a supermarket in Zacatecas, Mexico, got quite the shock when they found a live frog inside their spinach recently. Live frog? Nah. Nah, bro. It's closed. I want to see the closed bag, the seal. Oh shit, it's sealed. It looks sealed. Bro. No, dude. Extra protein.
Que se le empezó a mover. Mira, ya estiró los piecillos, las patillas. Ya cerró los ojos.
Close his eyes. Is he suffocating in there? How long could they live in that bag?
Bueno, y luego acá dice. Dice que está ya lista para comer. No.
Yeah, lista para comer, ready to eat.
No. De veras ya me va a dar mucho asco.
No, this is crazy.
Comprar en serio.
Oh my god. And I guess that's it. They said Nancy Pelosi fractured a hip. That stuff when you get older. I don't like Nancy, but I also I don't wish harm or death on anybody. But she's very hypocritical because I think she talked about other people. Oh, they can't walk, they can't do this, they can't do that. They're too old, and now she broke a hip or something. Or at least fractured it. I haven't covered the drone thing. The drone thing has been crazy. I've been kind of like, but like last night it was nuts. People were messaging me, sending me all this stuff. The drones. There's 50 drones coming from the ocean. Nobody can recognize it. What's going on with the drones? And this story is kind of one other thing. This story is kind of caught my attention because I'm just kind of thinking like, I'm not a conspiracy person, but at the same time, it's like, how many whistleblowers are gonna they just got found dead. They're just dead. They were like gonna put out all this information, and so this guy named Suchar Balaji, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, 26-year-old researcher from OpenAI who had recently become a whistleblower regarding the company's practices was found dead in his San Francisco apartment November 26. The death has been reported as an apparent unaliving. Why are all these whistleblowers just killing themselves? I don't. Why? That doesn't make sense to me. I don't believe it. The bowling guy blows himself off too. Like, I don't know how this guy died. And I also wonder, like, OpenAI, like, who is that? Who's OpenAI? I see this big Twitter page called OpenAI, and they've been making these big announcements recently, but they have nothing to say on the matter. And so I'm like, is it the same company or is it a different company? OpenAI. And nobody's leaving comments. Maybe it's two different companies. I don't know. Weird. I'm going to have to look more into that. Oh, the other thing. One more thing. So yesterday, too, there was a tweet. Remember the lady, Donna something, that allegedly made these threats to the insurance company and she got arrested? Well, somebody was like, oh, they dropped the charges. They set her free. JLR went and made a post, and I guess he cleared it up. Brianna's Boston's charges were not dropped. She's been released on bond, and she's now on GPS house arrest. So he literally pulled up the record, and she's on GPS. I guess she was able to pay the amount, and she's on house arrest now. Chat GPT is OpenAI. Okay. I'm going to have to look into that more. But anyway, you guys have a good weekend. Take care. I've just been chilling today. I've been working on like we're doing this, the Christmas decorations, and I ran out of hooks, so we have to go to the grocery store. We're going to get some stuff and put up the rest of in the living room and over here in the office, some Christmas decorations. So that's what I'm doing today. Sebastian Rogers' case is a freaking mess. I don't even know what to say about that case. I keep seeing all this back and forth, all this bullshit. So unfortunate that kid is still missing and there's all this drama, but